My name is Presley. I'm 24 years old, and over the last over the last several years, I have developed some medical debt that I was unable to afford, and as a result, I had it sent to collections, and I tried to negotiate a small payment monthly through collections, and they wouldn't go for it. They wanted like minimum $300 to $400 a month, and that was like half my rent at the time, and I was barely making rent, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford that, and I told them no, I can't do that. And as a result, they ended up suing me, and um, they were going to garnish my wages. Luckily, I reached out to my grandmother, who I love very much, and I'm very thankful for her because she helped me pay it, and I'm very grateful for that. I know a lot of people don't have that as an option, and I don't know if I will always have that as an option. So hopefully that is a one-time thing, but I was very grateful for her in that moment. I've had issues with both physical and mental health finances that I have been unable to pay on things. To start with, like the physical health, a couple years ago, I was having some pretty severe stomach pain and stomach issues, and I couldn't figure out what was going on no matter what. I was trying to eat different and like try different foods and see if something if like gluten or something was causing it. Nothing. Couldn't figure out anything. Um, and one night I finally went to the ER because my stomach hurt so bad, like I could barely walk. It felt like my appendix had ruptured, or that's what I thought. It felt like it probably wasn't as bad as that pain because I've heard it's pretty gnarly, but I ended up going to the ER. They did an MRI and I think a ultrasound. I think that's what they did. And they held me for like 4 hours, 3, 4 hours maybe. And they gave me painkillers and anti-nausea. And then they just let me go. They were like, "You're fine. We don't see anything wrong. Like, you should be good to go." And I was pretty upset because it was like, something is wrong. Like, I'm not the type of person to just go to the doctor unless I know something is wrong. Because even as a kid, I had like a phobia of going to the doctor. So I wouldn't tell my parents something was wrong until like the last second. And I went home and just like dealt with it, and it got better, and then it just kept coming back, and the pain kept getting worse and coming back, and I went to see more doctors and clinics, and I went to the GI clinic, and I finally found out that I have GERD and IBS, so nothing life-threatening, obviously, but it was very annoying and very painful for a very long time. And at the time, I wasn't managing it because I didn't know I had it, and I was scared. I was in a lot of pain, and I have, in reality, been dealing with this since I was like a kid. I just thought that everybody had issues with their stomach because my dad and my grandpa and my mom all do. So I just thought everybody did. I thought it was normal to either have constipation or diarrhea and nothing in between, and like acid reflux all the time. Um, and in my 20s, I was still treating my body like I was a teenager, like I was an athlete, and I was not. And I suffered for it, obviously. And I figured out that I needed to start taking better care of my body a little bit. I take medication and eat better and drink less. Try to anyway. And as a result of that trip to the ER, I was billed like $5,500, somewhere in there. Um, and that was after insurance. I was covered through Blue Cross Blue Shield through my dad's insurance at the time, which I now have Blue Cross Blue Shield through work. And I was unable to pay that bill. So as a result, I tried to pay it as often as I could, and I ended up picking up a second job. I was working sometimes 12 to 17-hour days, and I was still unable to pay my rent, credit card, phone, storage unit, and all of my other medical expenses on top of that major bill all at once. And I had to stop doing a lot of hobbies I love because I couldn't afford to anymore. And as a result, it got sent to collections, and yeah, that ended up working out, thankfully. I have since stopped going to therapy as a result of finances because my insurance decided to stop covering my therapy after 3 sessions with a new therapist, and I ended up being footed the bill for 3 full sessions, which I was unable to afford, and luckily I was able to pay that one off. I currently have $1,000 in collections through medical health or mental health expenses for my psychiatry, and I'm not as worried about it because these guys are not as aggressive as the last ones. Um, and my income is a lot better than it was. It's still not as good as it could be because I live in a city where it's very hard to live on your own or at all, even with roommates, unless you make really good money, which I don't. And at the time of my physical health issues and that big bill, I was living on my own. Now I have roommates and it's a little better. So, but as a result of all of those issues I've had with medical finances, I now won't go to a doctor, not because I'm scared, but because I don't know if I can afford to, even if it's something major or something that I think might be major. Um, every now and then I go to urgent care if I need to, because I know I can usually afford those trips. It's usually fairly affordable, but like as far as like actual clinics, like GI clinics, stuff like that, I mean, I get charged an insane amount just for like a checkup, and I just can't do it. I don't go to the dentist hardly ever because it's the same thing. A cleaning is too much. My insurance won't cover it that much. Um, I need to get glasses, and I now have vision insurance for the first time in my life, but I'm scared to go because I don't know if I'm going to get charged way too much or if my insurance will cover it well. Um, so yeah, as a result of all of the struggles I've had with medical debt, I just don't seek the help and the care that I need, knowing that I should. So, yeah, that is my story. Sorry it's so long. Thanks for watching.